This is Super Yacht News. In association with Go Earth, navigating boat buyers to better deals.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Sicily and the salvage of sailing yacht Bayesian. We've got an update for you tonight of what's been happening over the weekend. We've been busy all weekend doing live streams. As you're aware, we do these live streams now pretty much daily. We only do them though when we feel like there's something something's happening, right? I mean, there's always things happening, but most of it's been under the water. So, but over the weekend, there was quite a lot of activity. On Saturday, whilst they were preparing down on the seabed, a life raft broke free from the hull and surfaced. It was quite an eerie thing to see. This life raft that should have deployed in August of last year, finally doing its job. You know, self-inflating. The way these life rafts work is that they're in a case, in a plastic case, and they are tied to the vessel. And they have something called a hydrostatic release unit, which severs the cable that holds it in position when the vessel sinks. And then the canister opens. There's a line on the canister to hold it in place, so it separates from the raft. And then the raft has a gas canister, which then allows it to inflate, and then it obviously comes up to the surface. And they're designed obviously to self-deploy in the event of a yacht or a ship sinking without the crew being able to get to them to deploy them. Bayesian was fitted with 4 of these life rafts, and yet none of them seems to have self-deployed. The one that the crew and the surviving guests got into, or the surviving crew and the surviving guests, should I say, was deployed by the crew, according to the MAIB report. They said they tried to deploy one on the port side and they couldn't get it to work, and then they went to the other one. I don't know why it wasn't working. Now, these life rafts are built to certain regulations, and you know, they have to be checked periodically. There were a lot of comments at the time on Saturday in the comment section of that video saying that they see this happen a lot because people chain them to the ship. This does happen. I've seen it in TV shows and stuff where they've gone down to a wreck and there's a life raft still chained to the frame on the seabed. That usually happens on fishing vessels and other vessels that are left unmanned in marinas. With super yachts, that's not generally the case because they're always manned, right? They never get left unmanned, so they don't need to do that. Nobody's going to steal the life raft from a manned yacht. So, and also it's against the regulations to chain them down like that because it'll prevent them from being deployed. Now, on the Bayesian, that has 4 life rafts, or it had 4 life rafts, 2 on each side. This is a regulation again. The regulations state that you have to have enough life rafts on each side of the vessel to accommodate everybody on board. So obviously, in this particular instance where the vessel went over on its side very quickly, the 2 on the starboard side were probably blocked by the superstructure or by other things falling on them. And then when it sank, they were just trapped, right? The other one was deployed by the crew. Like I said, this one suddenly deploying the way it did, possibly one of the units on the starboard side, you know, and then they've moved the hull, because in the press release that they sent out recently, they said they were going to temporarily lift the hull, or the stern of the hull, to allow them to get the straps underneath. It's possible that this lifting allowed this thing to break free and go to the surface. Now, it's quite possible that they were aware this was going to happen. They probably did risk assessments. Well, I say probably. I'm sure they did risk assessments before they did the lifting. I'm sure they do that all the time. You know, that's the way you do these things to be safe. They probably knew that this thing was going to break free, but regardless anyway, it came up to the surface. It was quickly recovered by the salvage team and placed on board Hebel Lift 2. Now, on Sunday, yesterday, there was more preparations going on. Lots of cables, lots of strops being lowered into the water, preparing for this next phase of the recovery. And then today, Monday, they started to do, towards the end of the day, lots more preparation going on all day. Towards the end of the day, around 3:30, 4 o'clock, they started to deploy pollution booms, which is a big indicator of upcoming movements, parbuckling to begin. Now the parbuckling is the righting of the hull. Did I say this already? I don't even know whether I did. The righting of the hull on the seabed through a 90-degree turn, and that's what they're going to do before they lift it to the surface. So we are speculating that this is the next phase, because well, they told us that this is happening, but they gave us a timeline of events, right? But we're trying to work out which thing is happening at what time. And I think that the parbuckling is about to start, and that's why they've put the oil booms or the pollution booms in place. So because obviously there's a lot of fuel on Bayesian that wasn't pumped out, they're going to raise it with that fuel still in the tanks. Now, if for some reason there's some sort of leak, then these pollution booms will prevent it from, going anywhere else, because the oil or the fuel will go to the surface because it's lighter than water, and it will come up to the surface, and then the pollution booms will hopefully hold them in place. I'm sure they've done plenty of assessments to say that there's no, it's not likely that there's going to be a leak. Anyway, that's what's happened today. So the pollution booms are now in place. That was the last thing they did at the end of the day, and then they shut down for the day. Full 12-hour day as always, and I think they actually worked a bit longer today than 12 hours. But anyway, the lift of this vessel is getting closer and closer, isn't it? It's the 17th tomorrow. They did say late June that the vessel would be lifted. Like I said, I think the parbuckling they're preparing for that right now. A lot of people suggesting that they could lift the vessel tomorrow. I don't think they're at that stage yet, and I don't think that they will do a parbuckle and lift on the same day. I think they'll turn it once they've righted it. They want to do lots of checks before they start to lift it, because again, they've got to check to make sure. The last thing they need is a fuel leak or some other sort of liquids leaking out of that hull. So they'll have to turn it, and then they'll have to do lots of checks to make sure everything is still sound, right? So anyway, I would say in the next 7 days, we're going to see this vessel probably on the surface. That, again, is speculation. I shouldn't be guessing now, because I've been wrong so many times before. But anyway, stay tuned anyway for that. Now, I've just got one update from a story that I did on Friday. I talked about, it's actually in the yacht spot. I talked about Lady Lara in Tarragona in Spain. And I said that they'd removed the name from the stern of the vessel. And I said that all was left on there was LL, and I said that's not the right name of the vessel, and it's against regulations to not have it. Now, I was kind of like, again, just speculating from what I saw in the video. They removed the name Lady Lara, the actual metal things with the LEDs in, and I also said in the video it's quite possible that they're repairing them, it might not be anything untoward. And I just went through the regulations just to sort of enlighten you on what a regulation is about a ship, that it has to have the name on the stern and the registry port, the port of registry as well. So anyway, after I did that video, somebody got in touch. I won't identify the person, but they basically said that the nameplates have just been removed to be cleaned, to be polished and cleaned, and they're going to be put back on. So, so there you go. So nothing untoward. They were just removing them to clean them. I've never seen them removed to be clean before. Normally it gets done in place. Obviously somebody polishing them with a machine polisher or something like that. So I've removed them myself to have them sent off, because the LEDs in the back, they tend to fade and fail. And then you have to send them off, have them done by a company to have them replaced. So I've done that plenty of times myself. Never seen them removed to be clean though. But there you go. So I just wanted to give you that update. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Quick one tonight. Stay tuned. If you're interested in the Bayesian Salvage, we're going to have live stream tomorrow. We're going to be probably doing live streams every day now until the vessel is on the surface. So yeah, stay tuned and let us know what you think in the comments, and be sure to share and all that stuff. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.